Fine. Once again, we are back on Egmont Soch ki Tea Talk Train of Thought with a series of an episode with Dr. Bharat Kulkarni, a very well known into the agribusiness and whereas a renowned name in agriculture policies globally and has been there as advising to the various government and the on agri policies and the market development which is there. Sir, welcome back again to this episode. Now we'll talk in terms of an agriculture policies which are there. The main objective can be to raise the productivity of an inputs which are there. But basically when we talk in terms of sustainability in agriculture, what needs to be done?
I think sustainability, it's a big word. It requires sustainability in terms of land, sustainability in terms of production, sustainability in terms of markets. Because sometimes what happens, and we have seen this thing in Africa a lot, food security is always considered as production problem, whereas most of the times it's not production problem, it's the marketing problem. If you go back to the history and see the great famine of Bengal, it was not that Bengal there was a shortage of food. It was basically that food could not reach the people who were needing it. Same was the famine in Ethiopia. So sustainability, when we talk about, you have to create a sustainable model that is not say exploitative towards the land, that is not exploitative towards the farmer and not exploitative towards the market. That's my belief. So I think one of the things that we have say come face to face with over these years has been that degradation of the land. And I think that is where I think we need to be more careful. We need to be more, say, policy-wise, we need to be more encouragetive to, or we need to encourage policies that sustain the land, say, capacities. A lot of land in the major producing belts, especially in the Punjab-Haryana region, which was the breadbasket of India, has degraded to a large level because of excessive use of fertilizers and all. Probably now we are moving into promoting the use of organic fertilizers, and we are looking at replenishing the land nutrients without actually applying fertilizers, and all those things are there. But I think we need to have a structured policy around that, where we need to implement that. Second thing is we need to really think about farmer as an entrepreneur, as a policy. Then only farmers, because subsistence farming will not continue, and given the challenges that we are facing in the economy right now, I think the farmers need to be treated as entrepreneurs. Then only things would change. And markets, of course, you have to ensure that say you have a policy stability into the markets, because nobody is going to invest into building a supply chain, and you know more than me about this, unless and until there is a policy stability.
Correct.
So I think these are things which in the sustainability area we really need to look at.
Now, when we talk in terms of having policy like on institute structure, like don't you think? I think we need to focus on the institutes also much more.
Yes, I think. Again, as if you look at the institutional structure of the farm development in India, or the agriculture development in India, it is very aggressively focused on production. How many institutes in the agriculture sector really work on improving post-harvest technologies, improving the capacities of the farmer in post-harvest handling, improving the capacity of the farmers in processing, or providing? How many policies do we actually have on that? So institutional structure after the farm. So my problem with the policy right now is we assume that the farmer goes to the mandi and all the problems are solved. No, the problems actually start from there. Because if you do not make the sale remunerative, how much production remunerative you can make?
Correct.
You can give him fertilizers, you can give him everything that he needs, but at the end of the day, if he's not earning money out of what he's selling, none of those policies are going to succeed. And this is something I remember. We had a very say I was advising one of the governments in African region, and the donors were focused on production sector. We had to actually make it a case, and with a major donor agency in this Eastern Africa, I made a 2-hour presentation to them why post-harvest is where the problem lies and why we should address that. And I think that is where institutional capacities have to be built in.
Okay.
So we, on one hand, we have IIMs that are creating segregation professionals which are absorbed by multinationals, but at the same time, we are not creating enough agribusiness professionals who come from the farming community. And that is where I think we need to work on. The institutional structure has to be built on.
And also, when we talk in terms of an agriculture research and the training, I think, well, see, basically, if you see there's a migration which is happening from the rural to an urban area, like for sake of the jobs and all, like. If the policies are designed in such a way where I think those guys are taken care of, and maybe when we talk in terms of and training and all, like, how best we can bring into the policy about the agriculture research and the training aspects.
Yes, I think that is an area, as I said, which needs a lot of focus. What we have been doing, we are telling the farmers to go and produce well. This is how you can produce well. But the son of the farmer who has much better capacities, we never think of converting him into a processor. We never think of giving him education to be a more, say, stable player into the value chain. So that is where I think we need more training, we need more capacity. And I'll give you an example from Harvard Business School. Harvard Business School has a lot of African students who come from a variety of African countries, including Nigeria, one of the major, say, economy in Africa. And I remember Nigerian, I had met him in one of the conferences, and in that conferences, he was then the Agriculture Minister of Nigeria, Adesina. Now he is the President of the African Development Bank. And he said one very interesting statement. He said, next set of billionaires in Africa are going to come from agriculture, which is a very, very important statement. And then I asked him, I said, Adesina, you said this, but how you actually say plan to do it? And he then explained what is his idea about it. And that is where I could see in Harvard Business School that happening. A lot of students who have been educated in Harvard Business School are no longer looking for a corporate job in US. They're saying, let me go back to my homeland, let me go back to Nigeria, let me go back to Tanzania and apply these things into agriculture. I have a farm in my dad is a farmer, my dad has a farm in Nigeria. Why can't I take that farm and add the business aspect to it rather than actually doing a corporate job here?
Okay,
and that is the thought process that has actually benefited Africa. So we need to do the same things in India. Why can't we create a bench of a set of professionals that from that village who can go back to those villages and bring in new technology and add up to the agricultural value chain.
Sure. And also what we have seen when we talk in terms of an agriculture policies which are there, how we can remove the bureaucracies, obstacles which are there, like, you know.
I think that is where one of the say challenges India faces. Agriculture is a very because it's heavily government subsidized. The bureaucracy also plays a major role, and that is where I think open-mindedness, bringing in more professional say approach into agriculture policy making. Some initiatives have happened. We have seen agencies like Niti Aayog hire professionals from the open market to recruit and who they have recruited to bring in a fresh thought process in agriculture. Again, I'll give you an example of Ethiopia, and I'm giving example of Ethiopia because if Ethiopia can do it, why can't we in India? So Ethiopia, they started the project I was working on was a UN supported project. A similar project the government of Ethiopia started. They funded that through donor funding, UN funded and various other donors funded. That was the Agriculture Transformation Agency. Now, Agriculture Transformation Agency by design was structured in a way that no government bureaucrat, it was a government entity, but they said we are not going to have a single government bureaucrat sitting in those offices in Agriculture Transformation Agencies because if we try to do the same things again and again and expect a different result, it is not going to happen. We need to bring in new thought processes. We need to bring in openness. We need to bring in more confidence in the farmers for this agency. And that is where they went to the diaspora. In US, in UK, in various other countries, and they said, anybody who has a successful career in agriculture and wants to contribute to agriculture in Ethiopia, come and join us. They match their salaries to the international salaries. They brought in these diaspora, and today, if you actually look at the impact that Agriculture Transformation Agency has created, it has actually cut down the whole red tapeism.
I think it's a very great insights and the inputs to what we have got in terms of when we look in terms of agriculture policies which are there, like how we can have an policies like which we talk in terms of a win-win situation which are there, and I'm sure like we need to empower the farmers which are there, and as far as the policies which are concerned, we need to closely look at the policies and ensure like it has to be a win-win situation. And now in the next episode with Dr. Bharat Kulkarni, we are going to take up in terms of the current issue and the challenges which are there, which is in terms of an MSP, and they are the three Agri reforms bill which are there. We'll catch up in discussion with Dr. Bharat Kulkarni on that in our next episode. Till then, if you like the episode, just go to www.ttalk.net, subscribe and like the channel as much as you can. So thanks a lot for being part
Thank
of
you very
this.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.